Into the realm of the PL-89, into the realm of the higher time, into the realm of the Messiah time. It is simple to sing the tune, match the sun up with the sun and before the moon, as per Psalm 72. The two calendars are one, match the moon up with the sun. Yaakov and Esav, Tikkun and Tohu, and with that our work is done. This is the PL-89 Gematriatic Quantum Thought Calendar for Tuesday, February 10th, 2026. And it is the 23rd day is Yom Shlishi, meaning third day of the week in Israel, Hebrew. The third day of the week is Tuesday. Yom Shlishi, 23 Shvat, 23rd day of Shvat, 5786, Parshat Mishpatim, and it is Daf Yomi Menachos 30. This is the PL-89 Gematriatic Quantum Thought Calendar. Like the song says, it's all about matching up the moon and the sun and the moon, having that eclipse there. And not necessarily being eclipsed, but actually, like they say, like it's said in Kiddush Levana, in the sanctification of the moon, it says when the two great lights will come back in their glory, they'll be something like Atidim Utchadesh, that the two light, it's something like it has to do with the two lights in creation, like we read in Genesis 1. But it's also Psalm 72 that it says with the sun and before the moon, many generations, and that's a big theme in this calendar. So there's the sun and the moon, and that has many different ramifications. The sun and the moon has connections to, of course, night and day, duality in general, Jew and Gentile, the written law, the oral law, and any derivative of that. There's a big discussion within Judaism and Christianity about the oral law, whether it's what is it, and Christians seem to say that there is no such thing as an oral law, but oral law is like a hot button. It's a word that triggers different things in different people. But if you say the oral law, I mean, if you think about it, in Christianity, it has its own kind of oral law, traditions and ways of interpreting and doctrine. So oral law, I think, is just misunderstood within Christianity. When they look at, let's say, the Torah Sheba'al Peh, they say there is no such thing as the Halacha Moshe Sinai or something like that. Okay, well, enough about that. Basically, this is a solar and lunar calendar, and it's the sun and the moon. Of course, the Jewish calendar is a lunar calendar, the Gregorian calendar is a solar calendar, and that's one meaning of the sun and the moon, and they match up. They're both in one calendar. They're both seen in one calendar. Now, if you look at the amount of boxes here, you might be thinking, this doesn't represent a full year in any calendar. This doesn't look like more than 100 boxes, and you'd be right. It's not more than 100 boxes. It's not more than 90 boxes. Actually, yes and no, but it's actually 80 boxes. 80 boxes because there's 8 columns and there's 10 rows. So the amount of boxes, when I say boxes, I'm talking about just the purple and light purple squares. If there's 80 boxes, and the fact of the matter is I said yes and no because there is 90 boxes, but just the last 10 boxes are invisible. They're there, you can't see them. They're imaginary, but they're called T1, T2, T3, etc. up until 10. And so it's 90 days, or 91 days in some cases, but it's 90 days, which is a quarter of a year, and you use this calendar 4 times a year, and that's your calendar. Whether it's solar, whether it's lunar, it's a difference of about 11 days, so you can use it for either one. And everything gets gets rectified. Once you get to the end of 3 months, whatever was imbalanced, whatever went ahead or behind one, it all gets smoothed out in the 10-day twilight period, and then you're able to close the year, so to speak, and start the new cycle. So this is called a year, a mercurial year, because interestingly, the planet Mercury, as it's published in basically any astronomical publication, any like Wikipedia or encyclopedia or just books or whatever, that Mercury revolves around the Sun in 88 of our Earth days. So a whole year for Mercury is 88 Earth days, and that's about 3 months. It's 2 days less than 90 days. So basically, you're dealing with a mercurial year. It used to be called the Mercury calendar. I don't call it that now because of its association with Roman mythology and just the association of giving importance to a Roman deity. A pagan deity wasn't something that I was interested in doing. So it's now just called and Mercury is referred to in many cases, and it had a lot to do with the planet Mercury, or Kochav Hamaz, it's called in Hebrew, because of the satellite journey by not NASA, by the European Space Agency and the Japanese Space Agency. There's two, like a tandem satellite mission to Mercury. One was Mio and one was Bepi Colombo. And Mio and either the whole thing is called Bepi Colombo and one was called Mia, or there was Mia and something else, and together it was Bepi Colombo. But it's definitely called Bepi Colombo. And Bepi Colombo was published. I mean, today with all kinds of fake news, you don't know what's real, what's not, and AI, and who knows. But basically, this is really before AI became big. This is back in 2018. Maybe it was just starting then, but it was said that they're doing a 7-year mission to Mercury, and they're going to fly by with Bepi Colombo, and there's websites and stuff on YouTube actually tracking the journey. October 20th of 2018 was when they launched this satellite, this rocket, the satellite, and the satellite had several flybys of Earth, of Venus, and maybe Mars. Maybe it went all around, but it circled Mercury once. It came back. It was said to finish on December 25th of 2025, and then when I looked up it says it's actually postponed for another year. So in many ways, that 7.25 year journey or so, really, for all intents and purposes, completed for me. I saw the major shift from, maybe you can all think back. You can all think back and think of how life was and the world was back in 2018 and now, and see how dramatic the world changed, what dramatic changes happened. Like, think about Corona and all that, and all kinds of stuff, AI, and then cryptocurrency, and all this it's a whole different world now. And I think that all that was important in establishing the next thing that we're going into. So we might have already entered it. I feel like we did. But I don't know if it's just me, but it feels like time is literally physically speeding up. I read somewhere something that the Earth is actually spinning faster, and I think that would probably make time physically speed up. But I'm seeing like a day go by like that. I see the hours and minutes just like almost like just figuratively melt away. I'm seeing like my morning, I get up, morning, afternoon, lunchtime, and it's already night like before I know it. And so I didn't see this speed of the time so much until the past, let's say, year or two, but especially this year, 25 especially. There's something unusual about how fast the time is moving. So anyway, sun and the moon, the way this is used is that every day there's two boxes on this calendar that are looked at. One is a box of the solar number, which is the Gregorian calendar, and then there's the lunar number, the moon, and that's the Hebrew calendar. So today is February 10th. And so February 10th is always going to be, any date, 10th day of the month is always going to be right here on a box that says 5 on it. On a square that says 5 on it. Okay? It's called box 5. It's the 10th square, but it's box 5. Square is the amount, and then box is the actual number. And the way these numbers were reached, it's a subject for a different topic. I'll just say that it came from a verse in the book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 20, and those verses around there. So it doesn't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't count that way. It goes 8, 17, 25, 34, 2, 11, 19, 28. It's a pattern. It's not just random numbers. It's 8 plus 9 plus 8 plus 9, and then cutting off at 40. That's the pattern, and there's reasons for it. But for time, I'll leave that out for now. So 5 would be the solar number. Okay, so then you have to look at the lunar number. So today is the 23rd day of Shvat. So then you count, basically it goes from left to right, like regular numbers, or like reading like English. Now there is a way to use this calendar that you're counting from right to left. That's in like Hebrew, but that's for the 72 names, which also interestingly fit this thing exactly. They're called the Ayin Bet Shemot. That's also a different topic. But the lunar number is Shvat 23. So you count 23 boxes. So like go 8, 16, okay, 20, 21, 22, 23. So 23rd day of any month in this dispensation, 23rd day, whether it's February or whether it's Shvat or whether it's ER or May or October or or Leo, meaning August, or Av, or November, or Cheshvan. Those are all the fixed months. If you're familiar with astrology, you'll recognize those. Every single 23rd day is always going to come out right here. On a square that's printed 35 on it. So the process is you add them together. So 5 and 35 is 40. So then 40 would be the PL-89 number of the day. So what do you do with 40? Well, 40 you do is you take the number 40 and you use it for anything that 40 applies to. And lately what I've been doing, very interesting thing, it's English gematria. English gematria is using letters and with numerical values to get a number. Turning a number into a word and a word back into a number. And so if you write 40 spelled out F-O-R-T-Y, and you use the formula of A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3, if you do that, then 40 will equal 84. So now check this out. Now you have 84, the number 84. But then, so now I can take that to Sunday. I could say Sunday, because Sunday equals 84. Because 84, the number 84, if you do like S is the 19th letter, U is the 21st, and like Sunday equals 84. And then, so now and you keep on going in a endless kind of like link in an alphanumeric link. So let's just say, okay, I'll show you the process. Some numbers, I'm going like an ad infinitum. It keeps going. It never has to end. Actually, it only ends when it comes back around full circle. And it does. Eventually does. I'll show you what I mean. Let's just say today's 40, right? So I have the number 40. You would see as a 4 and a 0. So then, what's another way of saying 40? F-O-R-T-Y. But F-O-R-T-Y, if you translated it into a number, it would equal 84. right? So now I have the number 84, and if I can't connect that to a word, in this case I did Sunday, but I can again take it back into the mothership, so to speak. I take it back into the processor and turn 84 into a word, which is EIGHTYFOUR. And that will equal, I don't know what it equals, but that will equal something. That will equal, let's just say 175, let's say. I'm curious now, I want to find that out. 84 equals, hold on, I'm going to get it right now, 1 second. Okay. EIG84. Okay, 84 equals 134. So now that I'm on 134, I'm seeing myself now driving on the 134 freeway in Los Angeles, 134 to Glendale or something, or Red Rock. Was it something Rock, Eagle Rock? Red, I forgot already. Anyways, I think Eagle Rock. I think 134 goes to Eagle Rock. So then I can take Eagle Rock and make that into a number, and then, but let's just say I don't have anything for 134. What I do is I go 134 is 282. So now 282, okay, so let's see if I can remember this. Let's go back. So today the solar and lunar number gives you 40. That's a number, 4 and 0. And I want to use it. So then I turn 40 into a word, FORTY. So then I take 40, I turn that word into a number. 40 equals 84. So now I have 84, and then I can be in this station. I can use wherever I am in 84 channel. Let's call it channel 84. So now I'm done with 84 now. Now I go back to the processing place and I turn 84 into a word, EIGHTYFOUR, and then I'll get a result of the number 134. So now 134, I can use that number and stay in this land, in this world. And once I'm done in this world, I get it back onto the mothership, the starship, and travel to a new world. How do I do that? I take 134 and turn that into a word. 131. Oh, I'm sorry. 100. I wrote 100. 134. Okay? 134. The cool thing about that is you can go 134, you can go 134, you can go 134, you write A and D, it's additional 19. But I usually write 134, that's the usually way I do it. So 134 equals 268. And I see 268 and I'm thinking, I remember I had a phone conversation one time, many years ago. This might have been 15 years ago, with two people, and one person's name was Lee. And Lee told me on that phone conversation, never forget the number 268. So now, ever since that conversation, I'll be thinking, every time I see the number 268, I think Lee and Lori. Two people, Lee and Lori. We were on a 3-way conversation. Lee and Lori, and Lori said, "Oh, this person's Lee," and Lee said, "I'd like you to just." It came out of nowhere. I mean, I can't remember where it came from, but Lee said, "If you're going to remember one thing, remember this: the number 268." So now, not only do I remember Lee and 268, but I also remember Lori, because so now you have like a nice solid knowledge base. You have this kind of gravitational pull. You know, planet. This planet gains gravity because the more information sticks to this planet, the more gravity it's going to have. So, like, you know how planets are really big? Let's say Jupiter has massive gravity, but Pluto has much less gravity. Why? It's the amount of mass. So it's the same thing with information theory. I mean, the way I'm experimenting with it, that the more gravity a number has, and how do you give it gravity? You give it gravity by continuing the process, by changing the number into a word, and the word into a number, word, number, word. Keep on going, and then you have this massive planet. So it's good to start with just a few numbers that you like. Let's just say the number 74. I was doing with the number 74 that you take 74, it's 74. Then you write it out SEVENTY, 74, and that turns into what was it? Forgot now. I think 170. Turns into 170. Now 170, you turn that out and you can get a few results. You get 170, and then you get all the words from there, and all the words from there, from there, and then it's like a tree. You keep growing it, and then information. The idea is that the information really sticks, so that when someone says a sentence, you can like code it in many ways. You can see many sentences at once. Who knows where this could end up? You could learn languages and all different kinds of things, science and physics and all kinds of things, because they're all numerically lining up. That's the idea.